Brandon Novak is a native of Baltimore, former pro skateboarder, an MTV celebrity, and an alumnus of the Jackass movies, and now a New York Times best-selling author. He is also a recovery advocate and now a spokesperson for the Banyan Treatment Center. His message, which he writes about in his book, Dream Seller, especially hits home with many parents as drug addiction is plaguing our nation and many of our youth. Brandon Novak joins us now with his mom, Pat Novak. I'm so happy to have you both here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I know it's been quite a journey, and we will talk about what's all in your book, but I want to talk about you being here in Baltimore. You grew up here, right?
Absolutely.
You grew up here, and then tell me about getting involved with skateboarding. How did your whole career begin?
Whew, it's tough to give you a whole career in...
I know, in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, so I'll give you like the 20-second Reader's Digest version. You know, my mother gave me my first skateboard at the age of 7, and that night when she put me to bed, she said, "Brandon, what do you want to do with the skateboard?" I said, "I want it in bed with me." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because if I die, I want it to go with me." You know, it was like God had came down to hand me the Holy Grail in the form of a skateboard.
You loved it that much.
I knew I was going to be a professional skateboarder. I ate it, I breathed it, I slept it, I dreamt it.
And you did.
At 15, I became it. At 14, I was the first skateboarder ever to be endorsed by Gatorade. You know, so.
Amazing. And Pat, seeing your son, you give him the skateboard and he gets it and just takes to it like a fish to water.
Yes, he did.
I mean, how was that just sort of watching him hone his craft? I mean, look at them. I mean, that's amazing.
Oh, I was very proud of him.
Yeah.
Because he was such a, well, you could see he was such a little guy and he was skating so well.
Oh, you were a cutie.
Thank you.
Yes, he was.
Definitely. So you go on this whole adventure, and then you become superstar, MTV, you're in these movies. Talk about that rise. Was it everything that you dreamt it to be, or?
Absolutely. It was everything that I wanted, everything that I dreamed of, and everything that I thought life should be. But unfortunately, I found myself wrapped up in the disease of addiction. And what I learned is that the disease of addiction doesn't discriminate. From Yale or jail, the White House or the outhouse, the results are all the same. And 1 out of 7 people will be affected. So when I got really wrapped up with drugs and alcohol, I was kind of like too far gone to be redeemed. Because I was so successful at such a young age, people kind of just let me do what I wanted to do.
So how old were you when you started getting involved with drugs and alcohol?
16 to 17, I was a full-blown heroin addict.
Wow.
You know, and by the end of a 25-year drinking and drugging career, I had been in 13 inpatient treatment centers. I had lost count of outpatients and detoxes. My mother had bought me a plot. People had taken life insurance policies out on me, and I was on life support for 7 days.
I can't even imagine.
You know.
And you, as his mom, you know, seeing this, how was that time for you?
It was heart-wrenching. It was terrible. It was a living nightmare.
But you stuck with them, trying to get through, you said 13 different treatment centers.
Yes, I did.
And then finally, it stuck.
I never gave up hope, ever.
Right, yeah, your mom.
Ever.
Your
That's
mom.
right, as long as he was breathing.
Right.
I was right there with him.
And look at him now. Talk
I know.
about this, how you got to this point to not only be better, but to help other people. That is miraculous.
Well, it's really strange. At the end, when I was homeless, I had nothing. I'm living at my mother's house. She went to church one day, and the father said to her, "How's your son, Brandon?" She said, "He's never been worse. So I've simply went to God with one prayer." And father said, "What's the prayer, Miss Pat?" And she said, "It's simple. The prayer is, God, please cure him, kill him, or kill me, because I can't take it anymore." And Father Mike actually screamed at my mother and said, "How dare you talk to him like that about your son? Little do you know he has a plan for your son. You don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and Brandon definitely doesn't know what it is." And thank God I didn't know what it was, because if I did know what it was, I would have messed it up. I would have gotten in the way of it.
So you've chronicled all of this in your book, Dream Seller.
Yeah.
And you are now working with Banyan Treatment Centers because you don't want people to go through this cycle over and over again.
Well, that's the thing, you know, my story is tangible. There's some substance to it. You can see it in tabloids, you can read it in books, you can see it in movies, on the internet. And now they're witnessing the rebirth in the same manner. So 99% of the phone calls that I get, which is why I give my personal number out, is like, "Novak, if you can get clean, there's no reason why I can't. Can you help me?"
There is a scholarship that people can potentially get as well.
Yeah, we're offering Routes to Recovery at Banyan Treatment Center. We're offering 1 scholarship per month for a 40-day detox.
At the Florida location.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you're doing, both of you, it's just speaking about this, it's plaguing our nation, it's plaguing our community, and for you to shine a light on it, I know it's sometimes difficult to talk about, but for you to put it in a book and be here, we really, really appreciate that.
I mean, because it's not an epidemic, it's a pandemic. It's 152 people today in the nation will die as a direct result of the opioid overdose. It's worse than the HIV outbreak, it's worse than drunk driving. And the sad thing is that it's all preventable.
Right. Right, and you're helping to do that.
Yeah, so like as long as you're breathing, it's never too late. Your history does not have to dictate your future. I know I keep riding over you, but I feel so passionate about this.
I know.
If you need help, call me. I will do whatever it takes to find you the help that you need.
Brandon and Pat Novak, thank you so much. We'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after the break. Stay tuned.